Have you ever felt like there is a force within you that you haven't fully tapped into yet? We all have an infinite power inside us, but most of the time we are either unaware of it or let our fears and doubts hide it. In this video, you will learn how to unlock your inner power and become a stronger, more successful person. What truly matters is returning to ourselves, going back to our essence. We need to peel away the layers. Spiritual growth is not about reaching a certain place or achieving something. It's about removing layers, tearing down walls, and eliminating the barriers that separate us from who we truly are. These barriers act like veils, preventing us from seeing our true selves. The real discussion is about self-discovery. It's not about learning a set of techniques to make ourselves or others feel better. The real question is, who am I? I need to realize my true self, to recognize my light, my power, and my essence. And this essence exists within all of us. Your mind is no different from Buddha's mind. The only difference is that Buddha learned how to use it better. He mastered how to work with his mind. Just look at what he achieved. Our minds are the same, our essence is the same. What really matters is what we do with it. If we change our actions, we can begin to move toward the depth of our being, toward our true nature. Everything you see in the outer world was first created in the inner world. Most people try to change the outcome by working on the result itself, but real change begins from within. Most of us spend our lives searching for a way to live. We take a little from here, a little from school, a little from history, a little from religion, learning bits and pieces from different places. And then we create a system for ourselves and adopt it as our way of life. But in reality, we learn how to live by actually living. However, the best way to live is the one that aligns with your essence, with your true nature. You have a unique role, a signature, a piece of the puzzle that only you can feel. But to recognize where you fit, you first need to know yourself. Until you truly understand yourself, you won't realize where you belong in this bigger picture, or what part of this grand design you are meant to complete. We all have a role to play. There is a reason we are here, and that reason is not to lose faith or pay bills. The reason is to get closer to our true selves. Inside each of us, there is a sun, a light. But the sun is covered by layers of conditioning, beliefs, opinions, judgments, and thought, and therefore it's not visible. We have hidden our inner light, and because so much time has passed, many of us have completely forgotten that it even exists. There is a safe place within yourself, a place where no one judges you, and there is nothing to change. It's just you, your true self. Most people live in the outer world. Only a few consciously use the power of the inner world. However, it is important to realize that the inner world creates the outer world. When you discover the power of your inner world, you will realize the extensive potential that exists within you. We connect with our inner world through the subconscious mind, and through it, we are in touch with the mind and the universe. We establish a relationship with the infinite creative forces of the universe. The great secret of life is to create harmony between the inner and outer worlds and understand how they function. The best teacher, the best guide is the one who turns you back to yourself. It's not someone who keeps answering your questions, like whether I should stay with my girlfriend or not, or whether I should do this or not. I don't have the answers to these questions. You do. You know. I might just be able to show you the right way to think. And when the right way of thinking is in place, you will make the right decision and reach the right conclusion. Most of us don't have a suitable, practical, and problem-solving way of thinking. Most of us, when we think, believe our thoughts are reality. What we need to do is separate reality from our thoughts and fantasies about reality. There is a reality that exists. Like, for example, someone said something to me, and based on this reality, you have all these thoughts and fantasies. Thoughts and fantasies that aren't necessarily real, and probably aren't real. Most of the time, these thoughts and fantasies are shaped by your interpretations, perceptions, past experiences, beliefs, and opinions. They don't exist in the outer world. For example, someone said something, and then you think to yourself, yeah, they've always been like this. They never respected me. I'm sure they're thinking this way. People are always like this. I don't know. I'm just unlucky. I'm miserable. That's why this happened. These are your thoughts and fantasies about what that person said. But those thoughts in your mind are not the reality. They are just your thoughts. Many of us think our thoughts are real. I think I'm worthless, so I am worthless. I think I'm not successful, so I'm not successful. But that's just a thought. It has nothing to do with reality. One of the skills you can learn and practice is meditation. Through meditation, we learn to separate reality from imagination and perceptions. Do you realize how important this is? Do you see how much it influences the way you make decisions, the actions you take, and your emotions? Because if you take your thoughts too seriously, those thoughts shape your emotions. Your emotions shape your behavior, and your behavior determines the outcome of your life. We've talked about this before. Your thoughts create your emotions. Your emotions derive your behavior, and your behavior shapes the results in your life. For example, if someone says something to you and you think, they've always been like this, I'm worthless, you will feel worthless and discouraged. That thought triggers an emotion in your body. And because of that emotion, you either take action or avoid taking action, and you make certain decisions. Now you are slowly beginning to see how your thoughts shape the reality of your life. Every thought creates an emotion in your body, and your emotions drive your behavior. And of course, your behavior determines the outcome of your life. So we come back again to thoughts, to the mind, this mind that we must understand. The mistake humans have always made is searching for power outside of themselves, even though the real power has always been within them. Your ability to attract what you desire depends on recognizing and using this universal source of power within you, this infinite energy. As I told you, in its purest state, your mind is incredible. It's like a clear sky without clouds, radiant, open and transparent. But with our thoughts, we cloud this sky. we make it overcast, dark, and unclear. The purpose of self-awareness is not to keep adding new clouds by learning more and more things. The real work of self-awareness is to allow the existing clouds to move aside, to clear the sky. Because the natural state of your mind is brilliance, and our journey is to return to that brilliance, to that clarity. Our mind is like a glass of muddy water. When the water is cloudy, you can't see anything through it. And then we presume that life itself is murky, that everything is unclear, when in reality it's the tool we are looking through that is clouded. So how do we bring clarity back to this glass of water? The solution is simple. Let it sit still for 10 minutes. That's exactly what meditation does. It allows the mind to rest and cool down. Our mind is like a machine that has been running non-stop with our foot pressed all the way down on the gas pedal. During the day it runs in the form of thoughts, and at night in the form of dreams and nightmares. Our mind is constantly working. Meditation is one of the few methods we know to give the mind a break, to cool it down and allow it to rest. Now imagine what would happen if your body never slept. How exhausted would you be? How much would your efficiency drop? How much would your risk of illness increase? The same applies to the mind. It needs rest. And mental rest is not watching TV. Real mental rest is meditation. In meditation, thoughts come and go, and we simply observe them as they pass. We learn that we don't have to think about every thought that comes to mind. We learn that if a thought is useful, we can choose it. Thoughts should be observed in the same way. When a thought appears in your mind, look at it and see if it serves you. Examine it and see if it's beneficial. Rumi says, a thought should be one that opens a path. What I want to say is that if you're going to think in a way that benefits you, that opens a new way forward. Evaluate your thoughts, observe them, and ask yourself, are these the thoughts I want to have? This is what we gradually learn through meditation and mindfulness, to understand our mind, to recognize its old patterns, to see when it creates fear or doubt. And if it creates doubt, it simply means that at this moment a doubtful thought exists in your mind. That's it. This is what we call distancing from the mind. There is a huge difference between watching the mind and believing it. There's a big difference between saying, I have a depressive thought and I'm depressed. You are never depressed. In fact, you cannot be depressed. Depression happens at the level of the mind, at the level of thoughts. Your thoughts may be depressive, but you are never depressed. You are like a room where guests come and go. These thoughts are just visitors. No thought has ever come and stayed forever. Everything is temporary. Everything is passing. But when we identify with our thoughts, we get stuck in timelessness. In fact, one of the signs of depression is this sense of timelessness, forgetting that this is just a state, just a passing thought, like every other emotion you've experienced before, just like the fear you once had, the anger you once felt, or the happiness you once experienced. These too will pass. If I'm patient, if I allow it to, it will fade on its own. It's like watching a storm approach. You stand by the window and observe. It comes, it passes, and you wait. Just like every other state that has come and gone, this too will eventually disappear. When you understand the relationship between your inner world and the outer world, your inner power will allow you to attract whatever you desire to be yours.